what am I going to need for that slave cylinder? 2 bolts, a hose, the slave cylinder, and a bracketry thing. And figure out which direction it goes. And get underneath the car. Fun. Oh! Sneaking up on me again, aren't you? I'm glad you're back, though. Let's get some work done on this MGA. We're going to talk about other car channels. I know that's not what car channels do on the norm. They usually don't talk about other car channels. Maybe they're afraid they're going to lose a viewer or something. I don't know. But I do, because I think we all should support each other. So let's get at it. Get some work done. Do a little talking while we work. It's the best way to do it, right? Get something accomplished. Welcome back. Junks Automotive. You came all dressed up. What? Okay. There's drinks in the fridge there. So, here on the handy dandy workbench here, we have our slave cylinder for the clutch release job, right? 2 bolts. Goes right here and it bolts somewhere. It's got a push rod, which this one is in not very good shape, and this end goes to the clutch fork. We have a replacement right here, exact replacement. We have the rubber line that goes to a hole in the frame, a little frame bracket. So I got the nut for that and the washer for it right here. It goes to the frame, then the line goes there. On this side, just like a brake line, we have a crush sleeve, a crush washer, and then it screws in right there. The problem I'm having is the pin. There's a pin that goes right through here into that clutch fork and a cotter pin. Well, this one, as you can tell, worn out pretty good. I don't have a new one. I tried a couple of, found a couple, and they're just not, they're either worn or not long enough. So take you I think it's 5/16 grade 8 bolt and make a new one. The grade 8 is going to be harder than this original pin was to start with. Now all I got to do is drill a hole through it for a cotter pin. That's the tricky part, but we'll get it figured out. And a new boot that goes into the bell housing where the shift fork sticks out, right? And I have 1 bolt for here, and I've got to find another one. But we'll get all that when we get underneath the car. Get something done here. Alrighty, well, it's getting a little chilly here in the barn. Hopefully get this slave cylinder on here. Before my feet fall off. And I don't know how this boot is supposed to go over the shift fork, because it sure can't go the other way. There we go. But like I was saying, there's other car channels that I like, and there's actually a channel that it's not even a car channel. We'll go with the first one. We'll talk about Vise Grip Garage. Okay. Hole. We got license plates to fix that. Welcome back, Vise Grip Garage. I'm here in the beautiful state of Indiana. Location, Junks Automotive to be particular. Now, Mike's a good guy. Now, I got a few things to say about that. Had a few people, because I did the Halloween video where I dressed up like Derek from Vise Grip Garage and this and that. and some other guys, and we'll talk about them later. But had a few comments on there that said, I don't like Derek, and you know, or one guy said, well, I met him and he was a real dick to me, you know. And I have a hard time believing that, but I could understand someone who's very busy, who's gone from their family all the time, or they go to say an event or something, and they're very, very busy. You could have caught the man at the wrong time, you know. He's human just like everybody else. And you catch me at the wrong time, guarantee you, I'm probably going to come across, you know, not so sociable. Now, I did that video, and so far, I'll put the video link down in the description so you guys can check it out if you hadn't seen it. Like 47 some thousand people have seen it, so you've probably seen it. Now I'll just try to get it in the bell housing. So anyhow, I was on the TikToks one day, and there was a page that says Vise Grip Garage, this and that, right? And it went live. Just as I happened to scroll to it, I was like, well, I'll join that live, see what's going on. And it was Derek typing. No, you know, his face wasn't in the camera or nothing. And there were only a few people on there. And the few people on there were giving him money, buying the jewels that they do on TikTok or whatever it is. I don't know. And I thought, well, I'm not going to give him money, but that's just not going to go in there, is it? Try it this way. So I, you know, commented, said, hey buddy, I did a video doing my impression of you for Halloween. You'll have to, hope you can check it out sometime. And he said, really? He said, what, you know, where's it at? Is it on your profile? I said, no, it's on my YouTube channel. He said, okay, I'll check it out. Well, after about 10 minutes of that, people giving him money and all that, all of a sudden he was gone, shut the live off. And I thought, well, that seemed pretty weird, you know, that would happen. So I went to his email and I shot him an email. I said, hey, I just talked to you on TikTok. I wanted to send you the link to that video I was talking about, make it easy for you to find. And I really didn't think I'd ever hear anything from him. Look at that boot. Well, almost immediately, Derek replied. He said, hi, Mike. You weren't talking to me on TikTok. That's a scammer. He said, I do have a TikTok. This is the link. That's the real one. The rest of them are all scams. He says, anyhow, I'll check out your video. I'm like, cool. Well, about 30 minutes later, I got a comment on that video from Derek at Vise Grip Garage. He said, great stuff. Keep wrenching. You know, now, I'm pretty sure it was him. Was it somebody paid by him to do stuff like that? I guess it's possible. But, you know, at least the effort was put into it on such a big channel to, you know, communicate with fans and all that stuff. So, no, I've never met the guy. I've never gone to a show or anything where he was, you know, at. Well, I am going to say that I personally don't have a problem with him. And, you know, and the stuff that he does on his channel, I enjoy. I don't know any of it that I don't. And as far as comments on his videos, he will reply to certain ones. You know, when you get a couple thousand comments within an hour on a video, you can't keep up with them. And it's my goal to keep up with as many comments as I can. You guys know that when you comment. I always comment back. If I don't comment back, it's because I'm really dumb or I really didn't like your comment. But if I don't like your comment, more than likely, I will still comment back. I just believe in that, right? It's because you guys, why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's because of you guys that the channel's done pretty good here the last, year or so. And it's because of you guys that keeps it rolling. So that's why I'm going to comment back, even if it's a comment I don't like. And it's okay. Constructive criticism, heck, there's nothing wrong with any of that, in my view. And if it's just a rotten ass mean comment, I'll still comment back and tell you, thanks for watching, right? You guys know that. So yeah, I do like Derek. I can appreciate what he goes through to make these videos. Does he make good money? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. He probably deserves it. So that's one channel that I watch on the regular. I buy his merch when it's something that I like and I think it's cool. Let's see if this bolt not long enough. I believe it's not. Probably not. Nope, not long enough. All right, turn you back on when we figure out a longer bolt. All right, this is an original bolt, and this bolt is like a locking bolt. It's serrated, so it locks. Let me loosen that other one up, make sure I'm not cross-threading nothing. So yeah, I dig Derek. And I always kind of cruise through the comment section, just see what other people say, see if there's people I know, see if there's any of you guys commenting and saying something, and Now, would Derek ever say, man, check out Junks Automotive here on the YouTube, here's his channel link, which I'll give you his link down in the description. I can understand he's on a different level. It's a business to him. It is his living. So him talking about me on his channel would do the world for me, but nothing for him, and I understand that. Now, me talking about him on my channel, it might get me a little attention, and that's, I do have a brand new lock washer on this original old bolt, so you know. That's the only bolt I had, so the other one I was going to have to do, unless I come across it, which is totally possible. But as much as Derek is away from his family, much as he works, as much as he does, seems like he does some charity stuff here and there. And yeah, he deserves everything he's getting. Now, so you guys see my little push rod, and it goes into that shift fork. I did get my hole drilled into my brand new pin. Let's see if I can get it in here. Of course, shift fork's a little gunky. It fits into the rod pretty good. I just don't think I'm hitting the hole there. There we go. You need to do some taparoos, little tappy tappies, just use a wrench. That's okay. You know, I mean, there we go. And actually, I'm probably going to pull that out. So I can put some grease on it. A little looby lube. That's okay. Oh, shift fork needed the holes kind of cleaned out anyway, so see how much nicer it is to do this with no floorboards in it? Oop. Back in there. There we go. All right. And I got a brand new cotter pin, right? If I can just find the hole. There we go. Oh. All right, well, I think I'll do. Let's get down here and cut that excess off of there with a pair of side cuts. Side cuts. So I think my line is going to come down through here. I don't know if you can see the loop in the pretty sure it's going to have to go like that. Yep. About has to. If I have trouble getting the line in, I can always swap it around. Ground wire in the way. There we go. That's eventually gonna get replaced, that ground wire anyway. Get this done. We're going inside for the night. It's Friday night, by the way, and I don't have to work tomorrow, the Saturday. So that's why I'm out here trying to get a jump on things and get a little something accomplished. And stay up a little late. But yeah, I've been working all day, walking around the snow, out in the parking lot, trying to find cars and this and that. Now that that's all lined up, and we're going to go ahead and crank down my line here a little bit better. All right, we'll make sure that that's tight, and I'll double check the routing, all that good stuff. So there you go. put a line to it, fluid to it, we'll have a clutch. This is the top side of the engine, so you can see the, you know, the line there that I was just messing with, and we'll get more into that later in the video. But that's all in there. So that this line right here needs to go right along here, down there, and curlicue. So it's gonna be a lot easier with no floorboards, excuse me, any floorboards, all that. Anyhow, the fire-breathing dragon there is out of fuel. We'll start a fire. A fire is much warmer. It warms up the room, not just the air. So the stove there will get fired up tomorrow, and we'll come out here and get some. Hey man, I'd like to get the brake lines ran, the clutch line ran, start getting some fluid and that silly thing right there, and get on down the road. We're going to talk about some more cool channels now, and I'm telling you, these are channels I watch for whatever it is. Right? You can tell me the channels you watch down in the comments. That's cool too. I just don't have a lot of time watching channels. If you guys have channels, I try to check them out, see what you're up to. Because heck, you watch mine. Seems right. All right. We'll see you here in just a few. Oh, sorry about that. Next day, let's get to work. I did purchase something. I think it's a tubing bender. We'll give it a shot. What the heck? Well, now that we have our clutch release mechanism, slave cylinder down there, mounted up, ready to go, I need to get this line right here kind of cleaned up. I want it tucked underneath that lip so that those two lines are next to each other, and we can use the little brackets and it'll look nice. But this line comes all the way over here, So I need to route it this way and then back down and then, so yeah, let's see what happens. Of course, the car's all jacked up in the air, so I can get underneath it real easy. But now if I gotta do something on top, of course, that tubing bender doesn't get into places where you already have stuff. But I think I can. That'll probably be all right the way it is, just like that. See this line way over here, so I need to make it go down. Sure, let's trade sides. See, way down there, gotta curl it around up through here, goes up there. Now once we get these lines kind of half but routed and connected on both ends, then we'll fine tune them and get the P clips on them and get them nailed down. Now we got to work on the brake feed line from the single pot double use master cylinder. That's a single pot master cylinder with two pistons, one for the clutch and one for the brakes. So you non-single pot people, I don't know how else I don't know what you do there if you wanted to convert that. I'm sure somebody has something they've done, but let's get back here to the bench. So we got our distribution block. So what happens is there's our brake light switch. It runs off pressure. When it senses pressure, it turns the brake lights on. A lot of really old cars were like that. Let's see if, yes. So that's pipe thread, and that's going to screw in there. We're going to use some of our pipe dope and get that ran in there, and then it bolts to the frame with that bolt. Okay, so probably what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in. We'll work on deciding how I might find a picture oriented it. We'll get all the lines hooked up, and then we'll put the bolt in. That might help us get our threads started on our tubes, rather than having this bolted down and have to bend the tube just right and risk. I like leaving things loose to get them started, if that makes any sense. Oh, golly, who put that on? Oh, that was me. That's some pretty mean stuff right here. Not too much on there that I blocked that hole, obviously. Don't want to push it down inside there. Come on, honey. There we go. It's just pipe thread, snuggy snuggy, done. That's not half bad. Just got to be smart enough to use it, I guess. Good luck over here. Hard to see. Here's our flexible line. It's new to the caliper. And our little line goes up underneath and goes through. Right down there into our block. So now we got the rear and we got the one that goes across the other side. I'm gonna do the one across the other side. It goes this way under the engine cross member and on over. Whew. It took me long enough just to get that little line just right. Keep in mind, see, like here's a clip that holds it to the frame rail. Kind of knock that down and holds it in there, right? Nice and solid. Anywhere, once you get everything hooked up, go over everything. Make sure you don't have anything rubbing. If it's in a clip, like a P-clip or a clip like this, make sure it's good and tight. You don't want it vibrating around, it'll rub through. And you don't want it rubbing anything else. It's sort of like right here, it's pretty tight. Right? Here's the frame right here and the control arm, so it's got to go right through there. And you just want to make sure that it's not touching. Like right here where my finger is. I know it's kind of hard to see. That's better. Now you can see that line where it goes through here. You don't want to touch anything, especially any sharp edges, and because things will vibrate and rub through. We don't want that. I just get my finger all the way down through there, make sure it's not touching. If it's touching something, just give it a little But yeah, check out my friend Pete. He'll show you details like this too. He's a little bit more he'll show you, man, he's got a ton of videos on the auto body working and the painting and stuff. You know, that's really basically where I started finding my details and learning how to do this stuff, other than screwing it up myself and learning that away. But you know, check him out. I'll put the yeah down here somewhere. Lines fed over to the left front. Oh golly. Oh. I'll show you what we got here. Left front, curled through, plenty of clearance. I just had to take, it was a little long, so you kind of take the scenic route sometimes if it's a little long, just to get it to fit. And it goes, where can you see it? Right there, yeah. Yeah, that's it, right there. Okay. I'd kind of like to fit me a P-clip right here, I think. There's no holes or anything, like there wasn't anything there, so I don't know. You know, I just kind of like to, I think. Now, so the main feed line, left and right, now we just got to go all the way back there to the junction block on top of the diff, and then go left and right at the rear end. Let me find the old, what I want to do is, I've got the old brake line that goes from here all the way back, I believe. That way I just know routing and got an idea of the bends and all that stuff. So let's dig up in the And golly, I get a little old. See, I need a lift. I just, man, none of this floor stuff for so long. Let's get up here. So another channel I really like, and these are in no particular order, but probably one of the best channels that I enjoy watching and I watch on a regular basis. Here's my attic space, all kind of stuff. Is coldwarmotors. Hey, not in my yard, you could tell. This junkboxmike guy at Junks Automotive, he's really wore me out about helping him out with his 57 Chev. Of course, I got Frankers here. She's messing up her new haircut. Don't you have a squirrel to chase, Frankers? That's my fuel line that I'm gonna need. I'm gonna reuse that. Coldwarmotors is just, just the funniest stuff. And he'll show you some details. Scott on there, really good guys, him and his buddies. He's always doing body work and painting a project of his. He'll do body splices and just the kind of crazy stuff like I would do. Oh, that's the short one. Okay, I need that too. But man, they're so worth watching. I am a Patreon provider, you would say, I guess. I'm gonna need that too. I'll have to get in here. But a very good channel. So I talked about those guys before. Coldwarmotors. Yep. Okay. I think I found it. Yeah, I think that's it. Is this it? This looks like a homemade one somebody's replaced before. Well, if that ain't it, we can use it on something else. But yeah, I've got, here's Chevy parts, trim, all kind of stuff. There's some bumpers for an MGA. I've got bumpers for a 57 way back there. I got a whole doghouse for a 2013 Challenger up here somewhere. Wheelhouses for the 57. Just this is kind of crazy, really. All right, there's a block to the rear and the thingamajigger for the flex line. I thought, I don't have a flex line, but I do. I forgot. I just hadn't put it on yet, and I found it. So we'll get that slapped in there, and these are the things. I think we're going to have a brake pedal and a clutch pedal by the time we're done tonight. It's my goal. But we can talk about brakes all you want because we spent a lot of time on that because of DD Speed Shop. What a beautiful car. It's mint. It's mint. Mike, what do you... Junk Mike Junk. You got... Look at this. How did... The windows roll up and down? No, not yet. And kitty hair, sand. What are you gonna sand? DD Speed Shop. That's a special channel. We'll get into it. You might notice, if you're hardcore MGA guys, that this battery box has been extended, so we can run. I forget what series battery it is. Run one 12-volt battery instead of two 6 volts. Because, simplicity things. It was half rotten anyway, so it needed fixed. So we're going to run a single 12-volt battery. And like I said before, we're going to run it negative ground. See if I can get that in there. But yeah, DD Speed Shop. Now I like watching Dan and Danielle. It's definitely entertaining. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that we watch car channels to, one, either learn something, learn how to do something, or just be entertained. Otherwise, we wouldn't enjoy watching burnouts so much. I like watching burnouts. You know, it's not because I need to know how to do a burnout. It's because I like watching burnouts. Or burnout fails. That'd be even funnier. But you know, Dan works hard, does his channel thing, and you know, should I, you know, fix my cars like Dan does? Probably not. But you could. You know, you could. You take some of that stuff that you like and some of it that you don't, come up with your own thing. That's most generally what I do with anybody I watch. If I'm going to come up with ideas to do something. But Dan, I dig Dan. And man, you guys, not you guys maybe, but people who watch DD Speed Shop, man, there's some haters. You know? I did those master cylinder videos just trying to help Dan out. And man, Dan's a hack, this and that. You know, I won't tell you why that is. People want attention. That's all. They want attention. And if you don't comment on your comments, or, you know, act like you saw them or anything like that, people do that, I think. That's just my opinion. Because I give everybody attention. I comment back everything. Somebody gives me a crappy comment, I will definitely comment back, not in a bad way. Say, hey, thanks for leaving a comment and watching the video, whether you liked it or not. It's good for the video. And usually they're just like, oh, well, you know, then they start backstepping, and, you know, people just want attention. That's what they want, and I understand. Okay, well, let me get that line that's curled up, that's 3 miles long, straight, and see what we can come up with. You can see the line right there. It'll get P-clipped underneath on the inside of the frame rail, along with the wiring harness and the fuel line. So it's just going to be kind of hanging loosey-goosey right now until I get everything in there, and it goes up there. Now, I looked at some routing things, and so some of these forums, you know, good information, pictures, and great, right? You do not have to have those lines exactly perfect from the factory, exactly as they were, like that valve down, or it's not even a valve, it's just a 5-way, it's all pressure, right? If I wanted to take that brake light switch and stick it in the side if it fit, and put the line right there, and it doesn't matter. So long as it's reliable, doesn't leak, doesn't rub through somewhere, and it's safe, that's all you need. Now, if you want to do all that, like the yellow fan thing, right? It was silver. I know, MGAs are supposed to be yellow, so I painted it yellow just to make you guys smile, because mine was silver forever. Is it going to change how it works? No, it's not. I could spend 18 years and make this car absolutely perfect, and it would never get enjoyed. What's the point? For my situation and Ralph's situation, he wants this car done by springtime. You know, and it's going to be a nice ride. It's going to be a nice car for Ralph. We do have a brand new windshield, by the way, right? So that's kind of my point, and why I enjoy DD Speed Shop, because no, is it all done perfect? Would he paint the frame rails like I did on this? Probably not. But he's got it done, and it's driving around. Is it perfect? No. Is it cool? Yes. You know, I mean, This ain't gonna be perfect. Nope. You know, am I gonna go to car shows, and is Ralph gonna go to a car show? Probably not. He might go to a cruise in and hang out, and everybody's like, man, that's a cool car. You know, but if some MGA guy that's an absolute purist, you know, purist, they'd laugh up and down this whole thing bumper to bumper. But that's not what it's for. It's to enjoy. It's Ralph's car. So you guys do to your car like you want. Take my ideas or don't. Don't matter. I just do stuff how I do it. And that's what's important. So check out DD Speed Shop. Tell them Junks Automotive said hey. Leave them a comment. They probably won't reply to it, but they'll see it, I think, maybe. I don't know. Okay, let's find our 2 brake lines that go from there to there to there to there. And there we go. Right rear, left rear, P-clip. Good example right here. See that P-clip? That's stainless steel with rubber. Oh, I know, it's gonna put me in MGA purgatory for like forever, but back then they didn't have stainless steel P-clips, and they didn't have nickel copper line either, right? That's gonna be just great. Hopefully the guys at the car show don't give Ralph too hard of a time for that. Let's put some juice in this and see what happens, I guess. Well, Charlie Brown, nothing left to do but to do it to it. DOT 4. There's a reason. Most clutch systems that are hydraulic that use their own fluid, they'll have four. DOT, Department of Transportation, 4 rating for the clutch and 3 for the brakes. 4 is a higher boiling point. So that tells me in general that the clutch and engine and all the heat could really heat this fluid up. So in this system, since they use the same reservoir, we have to use DOT 4. And the reservoir is tiny and the hole is tiny, so I'm gonna try not to make a mess. Maybe not. Of course, the opening on this bottle is large gulp size, so what I'm going to do is put me just a little hole in the foil, like that. See the little hole? That way it don't go everywhere on me. Now these MGAs are notorious for getting air out of the brakes, and I'm not too concerned with getting all the air out here by myself. What I do want to do is get fluid in everything best that I can, because what people don't realize a lot of times is you fill up your reservoir and then you just start pumping the crap out of it. Don't do that. The reason you don't do that is because those seals, it's a lip seal, right? So it takes pressure, it takes fluid pressure to expand them and make them seal. If you've got a bunch of air on one side, that air is going to go past those seals and you end up tearing your seals up. And then you're going to wonder, why is my brand new master cylinder not working? Or why is my wheel cylinder leaking now? It's because you had it full of air and you beat the crap out of it. Don't do that. We're going to gingerly get fluid to everything before we start putting pressure on stuff. Especially since these seals, it's hard telling how long. Everything's new, but well, okay then, we have the reservoir full, and I figure we'll start on the clutch side of things first, just because it's simpler, and if I can find the right wrench. Hold on. So anyway, bad Chad. Ow! I hit my head. Ow! All right, welcome back. I'm Bad Chad. Queen Jolene's on the camera, and we're on air. We're here in Indiana. Indiana. He wants us to help him out with his 57 Chev, and I think he's pretty close. Bad Chad something. I like Bad Chad. He's as human as anybody. Screw stuff up, and you know, something happened where him and Queen Jolene got into things, and but man, the haters on his channel, you can watch any video and read all the comments, and you're like, oh my gosh, man. So I'm gonna take the bleeder out of this all the way, right? Big old bleeder. I'm gonna put a little bit of Teflon tape. I'm not gonna use the pipe dope stuff because it's a little more permanent, but there's a reason why I'm gonna put tape on here, because we want to put a little bit of a vacuum on this, and you know, the little vacuum pumps to help you bleed breaks, that's all well and good, but you lose some suction around the threads because it's not tight. So I put a little bit of thread tape on there and just kind of get it started so that we get a section. But Bad Chad, man, people watch him, they hate on him like it's a freaking game, right? So now I got my little vacuum pump dealio here. You can see, all right? I'm gonna put this on the nipples and put a little vacuum on it. And just let it sit. See if we can suck some fluid down here before we go pumping the piss out of it, because that's just not gonna do much anything but hurt seals. And now usually at work I have a fluid evacuator. It's a big canister, puts vacuum on stuff, suck fluid out. It works great for stuff like this. Puts a pretty good, oh, there we go. See the air coming out in that tube? I'm gonna let this go for just a second before I hit the trigger and kill the vacuum. But I don't want to run out of fluid upstairs either. That's going to gravity bleed from there. I'll go ahead and tighten that up. Hopefully without making a huge mess. Let me get my vacuum pump off of here. You don't want to suck fluid in your vacuum pump because you'll just ruin it. Get that tightened up. That tape in there is not going to hurt anything. Then what we'll do is check our fluid level and start playing with the pedal a little bit, see how it feels. A lot of hydraulic clutch systems will bleed themselves out. If you got a little bit of air left in it, you get a bunch of pumps in it. Once you get fluid to it now, All right. There we go. Topped her off again. Play with the pedal, it's starting to work. There's still air in it, so what I'm going to do now is crack that bleeder loose and look for air to come out. And I'm not seeing any. We'll give it a second though. But yeah, Bad Chad's another one of those examples, man. Those people just hate on him, and they'll be comment after comment, and then they'll get in their little groups of chats, and there'll be 82 comments over the first comment, and people bitching and fighting. You know, let Chad do what he does. That's just his thing. You know, if, like he always says, if you don't want me cutting this car up, you better buy it. But you know, people don't do that. And the clutch is working. It just might be all it does. I don't know. Beats me. But yeah, give Bad Chad a shout out. Give him a comment. I think he reads a lot of comments. He doesn't reply to any of them. And that's the thing, man. You know, I've emailed him and talked to him. He saw the Halloween video. Said he got a couple good chuckles out of it. You know, I mean, heck, if he did that a little bit more in the comment section, those people wouldn't dog on him so much. But, you know, I like Bad Chad. He's got interesting ways of doing things. Don't mean I'm going to do stuff exactly like him, but it's, you know, it's idea driven. You know, he does it the way he wants. I do it the way I want. They're not the same, but I enjoy watching Bad Chad. So now, let's get to some smaller channels, right? Sort of like mine, that I really enjoy. All right, this clutch might be what it is, but I'm going to leave it sit. Let's not mess with it. Air gets stuck, and it'll eventually work itself out too. Actually, so you know, oh, I can't get up. Here we are, left rear. The furthest away from the master cylinder line-wise, we'll just, you know, I've got our bleeder out, and I have a little bit of Teflon tape just to seal up them threads, so we can put a little vacuum on things without hurting stuff. I don't know what I did with my other wrench. All right, hold on. I'll go find it. Bad Chad, check him out. I like Bad Chad. And I had a good comment the other day on the video before this one. Said, hey, I really like watching your channel. Your circumstances are different than mine, and I wouldn't do like you do, but I enjoy watching the channel. It gives me good ideas. You know, of course. You do with what you got or how you want to do it. That doesn't mean I'm an expert and you should do things this way or that way or whatever. Just like with Bad Chad. But some of the small channels I really like, and these are up and coming channels, I think, that, you know. So I've got the little bleeder on there, so you can probably see some fluid come through there. It's going to take, it's a whiles away, so we'll go ahead and let that go. Shed by the Tracks. Just look them up. I'll put the links to all these channels down into the description. Now I only got about, I don't know, 5 inches of vacuum on there. He's a good dude. He's pretty funny. I like watching him because his sense of humor is similar to mine, and it doesn't, you know, kind of works on stuff out in the shed. I think he's working on a motorcycle or something. Had some health issues, but he's coming back around. Shed by the Tracks. go in there and get them checked out. You know, these are basically automotive type channels similar to mine, and they're ones that I watch. But yeah, it's just entertaining to watch and how he does stuff. He does stuff best he can with what he's got, sort of like old Junkbox does here in the Barn Shop Shop Barn. But make sure you find him, leave him a comment, tell him Junks Automotive said hey. See, another good one. Greg's Vintage something. I want to double check that. Now Greg, he restores like old radios and record players and things like that. And it's not necessarily an automotive type thing, but he has restored a couple of really nice, oh, there's my fluid. A couple of really nice Volkswagens. So check out Greg. Make sure you tell him Junks Automotive said hey. If you like that sort of thing, and you know, tubes and circuit boards and figuring out how to fix stuff like that, which is good stuff to know, especially working on these old cars. All this stuff that just isn't that much different. So all the air coming out of there. I don't know why this makes me have to pee. I got the reservoir topped off. The right rear, I just popped her loose and the fluid started coming out. So we're good. Fluid's all the way back there. Opened up the calipers, 2 pistons, piston on each side, so you have 2 bleeders. So hopefully, and all I did was crack them open and wait. And here came the fluid. So hopefully you're going to see some air come out of here. Maybe not. I might have shut it off too late. But if you watch your fluid stream, see how it jiggles like that? Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. There's no air on that side, but there's probably air in the lines somewhere. Nowhere there. We snug these up, and then we'll move to the other side. There's something I'm going to tell you, and people argue with me all the time, especially at work. Your little caps, right? These little rubber caps that come on your bleeders, put them back on. Put them back on. Because when you have a bleeder that's froze, it won't come out. It's usually because it doesn't have a cap on it. Moisture gets stuck down inside there and it freezes on the inside out. It's not these threads, it's down on the inside. Put your caps back on. And really, you should spray that out. When you're done, spray that out with some brake clean. Clean that orifice out so the brake fluid is not just sitting in there. Put your cap on. You know, it's silliness. Okay, so the brake pedal, it goes to the floor, pump it a couple times, it's up tight and holds pressure. So we still have air in it, which, like I said, we were going to. When you watch here, the air bubbles. Some more. A little bit of air on this side. There we go. Just that little bit of air makes a big difference. And I've already done it on the on the driver's side, so what I'll do now, I'll go through all 4 corners, do this same thing while making sure that my reservoir stays full. Pump her a couple times, go around and do it again, and these brakes are going to be done without pumping the crap out of it, using 18 gallons of fluid. DD Speed Shop. You know, just do it the easy way and by yourself. Check this out. I've got just a little bit of air left in it. It's probably stuck in the master cylinder. Right there, hard pedal. If it's in that master cylinder, it will eventually work its way out. Right? Clutch. Clutch is working, everything's working. And we didn't you know, like I said, 18 gallons of brake fluid, and pump it, hold it, pump it, hold it, pump it, hold it, pump it, hold. That's not necessary. Almost never. I bleed brakes by myself at work all the time by myself. I don't waste somebody else's time. You don't need to do that. Problem is, doing that sometimes causes problems. So now we're just going to clean up a little bit. Want that brake fluid washed off. You know, because it causes rust. But we'll fix that later. Alright, let me get some things cleaned up. Yep. I got new latches and stuff for that door and the other door. So much left to do. But hey, look, you don't have to go through all that to bleed brakes. There you go. It's done. Took about an hour. Takes a little patience. Look at the details and the patience. Brake tubes and all that, as long as they're where they need to be, they don't rub, they don't leak, it's fine. Enjoy your car. Don't spend 13 years figuring out exactly where those brake lines go. There's reasons that they're routed that way, you're right, but hey, check out those channels for me. Make sure you do, and go tell them Junks Automotive said hey. And if you decide you want a hat or maybe some, you know, something like that, except for clean and new, links in the description. You know, it'll help Junk get a new shop that doesn't have a leaky roof and visqueen for insulation, and you know, next big storm could just blow it down. Anyhow, that's a me problem, not a you problem. I appreciate you guys coming back. Man, I can't explain how happy I am about the comments I get, the support, the good information. This is what it's all about. Us guys getting together, and gals, fixing up some old cars, having a good time, right? Hey, keeps us out of the house and keeps us off the street. Remember, if this was easy, everybody'd be doing it, right? Peace, guys. We'll see you on the next one. This thing will be running pretty soon.